and welcome back to the Pokemon Blue Randomized FIFO Nuzlocke. I am Ectric, and we just got to Vermilion City in the last episode. I am continuing on with a bit of a bulk recording. I want to get a couple days ahead, so this is a couple seconds from last episode. For me, it'll be a day for you. So if I continue on with my stories from last episode, that is why. I am still in the same exact mindset. So before I start going to the SSN, I'm going to do a quick team recap, because I didn't do that last episode, and it's been a little while since I've gone through my entire team to see exactly where I'm at. So first up, we have Purunga, the reincarnation of a previous starter. He is a primate with the moves Scratch, Leer, Karate Chop, and Fury Swipes. We definitely need to get him a fighting type move, because right now, even though we have moves like Karate Chop, which should be a fighting type move, they're all normal types, and he's got no super effective moves. Next up, we've got Bambi, the lonely Cubone, with Bone Club, Growl, Skull Bash, and Aurora Beam. We do have a stab type move for this one, so Bambi's been putting in some good work. Not against that Slowpoke from last episode. I did not want to risk getting bodied by a water type move, but overall, Cubone's been definitely putting in some work. Next up, we've got Sadston, the Weepin' Bell, with the moves Vine Whip, Sleep Powder, Wrap, and Poison Powder. We almost lost this poor little fella because I was getting greedy and trying to give him all the XP from that Slowpoke. But luckily, he was able to survive with 3 health, and we were able to let Mewtwo sweep up the rest of the work. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to find a Leaf Stone, or worst comes to worst, we'll end up buying it and be able to get this into a Victory Bell. Next up for the team is Owldrin, the Electabuzz, with the moves Quick Attack, Leer, Sleep Powder. This is another one we need a stab type move, because right now Quick Attack is not doing anything. And although Owldrin's got some good levels, it's not doing too much damage. Next up, we have our Lord and Savior, the Mewtwo named God, with the moves Confusion, Disable, Swift, and Psychic. This is basically our ace in the hole. Whenever we have any sort of issues, God just comes in and smites the enemies, and we are safe and sound in his loving gaze. And then finally, we have Harry, the Nidorino. This one we're going to need a Moonstone to evolve, and unfortunately we can't buy that in the department store, so we're going to have to try and find one randomly. But until then, Poison-type Nidorino with the moves Leer, Tackle, Horn Attack, and Poison Sting. And with that, that's the whole team. Hopefully we'll be able to keep this team going, get it up to a high level, and then be able to take on the 3rd gym soon. Now, I said I was going to go to the SSN. I think I want to get the encounter to the right of Vermilion first. This is Vermilion, right? I'm pretty sure this is Vermilion. I feel like an idiot if it's not. But let me know in the comments if I'm an idiot. I don't feel like checking the town map to confirm. Alright, so this is Species because we have an Execute. And I don't feel like wasting Pokeballs on a copy. So we will get... Apparently an Arbok is our next encounter. Alright, so Poison is super effective on fighting. And let's go into Sadston, because Sadston's part Poison, which means it will be not very effective, I think. So we're gonna do... we'll do Wrap first. That was a crit. Okay. Of course we missed. Alright. Oh, I shouldn't have wrapped again. That was dumb. Okay. I missed. Okay. We'll go with a Sleep Powder, because I keep getting hit by these attacks, and I don't want to start risking Sadston, so we'll do a little bit more of it. A couple more hits. Come on. Alright, that should be good. And now we'll throw some Pokeballs. Come on. Perfect. Alright. We caught the Arbok. Now, to name the Arbok. I didn't name the Arbok. Oops. Alright, well, when we get to the name raider, we'll change the name of our Arbok if we need to get to that. We might not even need to use our Arbok, so we'll find out. But I apologize for that. I pressed the wrong button apparently, and we will name the Arbok something. We will find out later. It's just a cliffhanger. I was keeping you on your toes. That's what I was doing. Not that I pressed the wrong button and completely messed that up. Ground type. Will do well against this Magnemite. There's no abilities, so this doesn't have Levitate. It's not Steel type, because that doesn't exist yet either. Just a pure electric type that can get bodied by ground type moves. Beautiful. Way to go, Bambi. So you're gonna grow into a strong Mama Bambi, and then hopefully the movie isn't prophetic. Oh, we can go into Diglett's cave also and get an encounter. I'll go do that real quick too. Oh, I don't want to go that high. There we go. Go heal up real quick. And I mean real quick with the speed up button. Holy cow. Alright, I keep going this far, way too far to the left, or right. You know, directions. They're difficult sometimes. Alright, we'll go into Diglett's cave real quick. And, get our encounter here. A Persian. It's just, I mean, it's okay, I guess. We'll switch back into Sadstan. Sadstan's got, the sleep powder, which is really useful for these types of things, and also has wrap. Okay, cool. Let's put a sleep powder real quick. Good. And now we'll, throw some Pokeballs. Perfect, we've got Persian. The classy cat. Alright. This cat is real classy. So we'll name... This reminds me of that scene from The Office where Jim is wearing a tuxedo and talking about making things classy. So I'm going to call this Mr. Peanut in reference to that scene. The classy cat, Mr. Peanut. Alright. And I don't need this because we've already gotten our counter. Come on. Alright. A lot of encounters in there, apparently. So, now that we've gotten our encounters, I'm going to go heal up real quick, and then go on to the SSN. And we'll go help the seasick captain by rubbing his back. And get ourselves cut. So, continuing on from our conversations about my recent travels home, I didn't really do much else, other than the things I had mentioned in last episode. Where am I supposed to be going? More to the right, I guess? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Got lost for a second. But, I did do a decent amount of driving this past weekend, and apparently my car had a factory recall. My car apparently is one that Toyota recalled, and so I need to go take it to a dealer to basically get a part replaced and make sure that everything's hunky-dory with my car and that it won't, you know, blow up while I'm driving or anything like that. Is this person's name Swimmer Girl Symbol? That's hilarious. Also, the fact that it's an old man. I think that's gonna have to be the title because that is so freaking funny. Oh my goodness. The attack of Swimmer Girl Symbol. I don't even know if I can type that as a title. We'll have to find out. If that's not the title, I'm going to be very disappointed, but I'm going to have to try my best to, first of all, remember that, and second of all, figure out how to get the girl symbol to be a character in the title. I really want to make that the title. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Come on. Yep, Swimmer Girl Symbol. Wigglytuff. And we'll leave in Purunga. Oh, let's not leave in Purunga. Yeah, whatever. Confusion's fine. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright. Swimmer girl symbol has been defeated. Let's go heal up our Brunga so that he can continue getting some levels. Don't want to have to deal with someone getting under level because I don't feel like running back to the Pokemon Center. When I played through the Fire Red Leaf Green series the first time, I thought that you couldn't leave the SSN. I feel like that's a common sentiment because when you get on the SSN, it feels like you're stuck in there because you had to give a ticket to get on. But like, I always thought that you couldn't leave the SSN until you completed it, or else I mean, I don't know what I thought. Maybe I thought I would get like soft locked or something like that, but whatever it was, I was not correct, and you can in fact leave the SSN just fine. As many times as you'd like. As long as you eventually get to the captain, you will, only then will you have the issue of the SSN running away. Or leaving, you know, whatever you want to call that. Let's go into Sadstone and get some more levels for Sadstone as well. This Wartortle is starting to get similar level to us, but it's not very effective, so it doesn't matter. Come on. There we go, and one more. Beautiful. Sadstone grew to level 20. Ammonite. This is 4 times effective, or it should be. Yeah, we're good. Absolutely bodied that Ammonite. Another swimmer female. I think that the old man got randomized to swimmer female. You like cherry pie? Oh, you think I'm a winner. You think a 10-year-old in a baseball cap with a backpack is a waiter. That's good. So, if you haven't already noticed, I'm gonna kind of try and talk to as many, this girl wants a cherry pie, by the way, waiter. Yes, the silent type, as I'm talking to you. So yeah, I'm going to try and go through all these rooms and get some levels, and also try and find some extra items, because who knows, we might get another Master Ball. Gent would like to fight. Blastoise. So this is only level 18, so Sadstone should be fine. Good. One more. There we go. Beautiful. Pidgeot. Definitely switch out. It will be not very effective on Eldritch, so we should be fine with that. Even with only quick attack. Perfect. Alright. We'll fight you. Ooh, it blocks the girl. That's useful. And a Gyarados. These are scary, especially with no, electric type moves. We'll send in Mewtwo just to be safe. I don't want to deal with any of this crap. I forgot, the Gyarados is also going to have Dragon Rage. Psychic should kill it. 2 hits. Yeah, okay, good. Oh, that would have been really bad if I had gotten into the 1 in 64 or 1 in 256 glitch. That would have been really, really bad. I'm very glad that didn't happen. That would have absolutely sucked. And there's really nothing I could have done about it if it had happened. For those of you who don't know, apparently in Gen 1, the way this is, the way the game is coded, the accuracy for 100% accurate moves, apparently there is a 1 in 56 chance that it will miss, because the way that bits work is that you go from 0 to 255, and I think it's 1 to 2, it checks if it's between 1 and 255 or something like that, and so if it comes up as 0, even though it's a 100% move, it will consider it a miss because it's not in that range. So even with a 100% accuracy move like Psychic, you can have a very small chance to miss. Obviously, it's less than 1% chance, but it's still not guaranteed to hit, even if you have no accuracy drops or anything like that. So, thinking back now, I probably should have used Swift just to be safe, but at the same time, Psychic is stronger, and if I hadn't used a strong enough attack move, I definitely would have died with that extra Dragon Rage. Oh, you're not even a trainer. Well, that's disappointing. What do you want? Ah, he's on the trail of Team Rocket. That's good. We need cops like that. Taking on the criminal syndicate. Alright. So, quick update on my life is, I recently found out that... Oh, neat, Snorlax. I recently found out that all of my classes from now on are going to be online because of the coronavirus. I am taking classes in Boston, so we had recently a Biogen conference, which is apparently like a big biotech conference, and there were a bunch of infections that came about through that. So because of all those infections in the area and the fact that everyone takes the transit, and there's a very high likelihood that there's going to be a chance that you can come into contact with it, they are making all the classes online for the time being, and possibly for the rest of the semester. So I just recently got enrolled in an online course, and it's nice because I don't have to go into campus now. I live outside of Boston, and I commute in through the public trains. So it takes me about an hour to get onto campus from my apartment. So it's kind of a hassle to get onto campus. So I'm really happy that I can just like sit on my couch and watch lectures as opposed to having to go into class and sit through them. But it is kind of crazy that they're canceling all these classes and interactions and stuff like that, and there's just so much going on with that. It's boggling my mind how much, how quickly this has gone, and how quickly there's been such a drastic attempt to stop the spread of this disease. And I mean, obviously, it's very important that this disease doesn't spread any farther than it already has, because it's, you know, even at 2.5% mortality rate, that's still a huge percentage of people that are dying from this, especially if it, you know, gets contracted by a bunch of people. Obviously, being, you know, in my mid-20s and generally good health, I'm not really worried about myself getting sick and having any issues. At worst, it'll just be, you know, a sucky couple of days to a week. And I live right down the street from a hospital, so worst case, I'm very close to good medical help. But it's more worrying that, you know, I were to pass it on to someone else who's more vulnerable. So I'm very happy that people are keeping an eye out on this and being very cautious, washing their hands a bunch, and canceling these types of things if there's a worry that people are going to get sick from it. So I'm glad that they're doing that, but it's just boggling my mind that how quickly this has happened and how widespread the reaction has been. Okay. We will definitely switch Bambi out. Oh, okay, we're good. Is Bambi up front? I don't think Bambi's up front. Yeah, we're good. We'll just won't switch in Bambi. Guard special. That can be sold for a couple hundred. I don't feel like using those types of items, so I'm not going to. Small bushes, that's nice. Beautiful. Alright, but yeah, so that's been nice. A nice thing coming out of a really bad situation is that I don't have to go into campus as much, and means I don't have to spend, you know, the hour to an hour and a half commuting back and forth. And that's one way, so like that's 2 to 3 hours just sitting on a train or in my car. So it's I'm glad I don't have to do that. I'm glad that I don't have to worry about that anymore, except for, you know, if I have to go in for research or something like that, but that happens a lot less often but it's really terrible that's because, you know, there's such a terrible disease going on there. So, you know, I feel like everyone's been saying this, and it's probably been drilled into you by this point, but if you're watching this and coronavirus is still a thing, you might be watching this years in advance, in which case, hello, future people. But if you're watching this right around when it's released, make sure you're washing your hands, make sure you're not licking any, you know, guardrails or anything like that. Don't be stupid. Just make sure you're keeping up your hygiene, and also don't panic too much, because that's just going to cause more issues. If you're not in one of the, you know, target demographics where, like, if you're not a older person or immunocompromised or a very young child, you're probably going to be fine even if you do catch it, but make sure you're careful, because not everyone you come into contact will be able to handle it as well as you, and even so, you don't want to get sick, and it's important that you stay healthy. So be careful, don't go overboard with using hand sanitizer and buying out Costco's supply of toilet paper. It's not going to be the end of the world, but at the same time, it's not something to just completely scoff at. I think John Oliver put it best in the Last Week Tonight video that went up. I don't remember if it was this week's or last week's, but it was. He basically said, if you're prepping for the end of the world, you're reacting too heavily to it. If you're sitting there licking doorknobs, then you're probably not handling this well enough or taking it seriously enough. Somewhere in the middle is probably a good, you know, good place to be at in terms of concern. We will switch out for Sadsan. Is you gonna have psychic moves? I don't trust this. We'll switch into Mewtwo just to be safe. Tackle. Oh, this would have been fine. Oh well. We already cut the experience in half, so might as well just finish it. Beautiful. Alright. Sadsan grew to level 21. Getting up in levels. Take that, gent, who is a lady. I do enjoy the randomized names, especially in the later gens when you get to have like the names and the titles. It could be very entertaining to see the random names that come up for each of the NPC characters. In this one, it's kind of bland just because there's very few names that they have for any of the characters, because they don't actually have like unique names for each character. It's just their class. So I think swimmer female is a class and gent is a class. I still find it very funny that that the old man was called swimmer female. But yeah, those are very entertaining. I enjoy that a lot, and I am looking forward to finishing up the SSN. I'm gonna try and finish the SSN before the end of this episode, but we're getting close to the 25-minute mark, and I'm not sure. I try not to make these more than 30 minutes at most. Is there anything down here? Oh, this is probably the same area. Ooh, a max revive. I can sell that. What do you want? That's useful. I will be able to learn strength eventually. And we did not fight these guys. Okay, so I'm gonna fight this guy. I'm probably gonna fight his friend, and then that'll probably get us to the point where we're at around 30 minutes, and I'll have to call it, and then we'll get to the rival battle and the captain in the next episode. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do all of the SSN in one episode because I dawdled and looked through all of the different rooms, but I've got some good items. I got another TM, so it was worth it to me. I don't like to speed through games for the most part. I do whenever I'm doing like speed runs. It's one thing, but if it's a game that I'm not necessarily trying to speed run, for the most part, I like to really explore games. I really bothered my girlfriend because when we first played Odyssey, we started off Odyssey. I bought it because I thought it'd be a good game for us to both play whenever we visited each other, because it seemed like it had a good two-player mode, and it turned out that not only did it have a really good two-player mode, but I absolutely adored the game. But what happened was, I am very much a completionist when it comes to those types of games. I want to, explore everywhere and get every single moon, and I want to get every single purple coin, and I just absolutely wanted to complete everything as I went to each new world. Whereas she wanted to beat the game and then go back, and it was grating on her the entire time when we were just staying in the same place for hours on end, just looking around trying to find all these different moons in random corners of the map. So it was very aggravating for her, and I apologize, but now that we've played through it once and we've basically gotten every single moon, we got to a point where it was just like the last couple of moons that were really difficult to get, and rather than just trying to get those, we decided to just play through again and start from the beginning. And this time, with me now knowing some of the speedrun strats and stuff like that, we decided to do it her play style, where we go through and beat the game as quickly as possible and then go get the moons. And funny enough, we ended up switching positions, and now she was the one that wanted to like stay and dawdle in the areas and get extra moons and stuff like that, where I was just kind of like, okay, let's just get all the moons we need and then move on. So it was really funny how fortune changed, and we flipped mindsets when it came to beating that game in one way or the other. But we ended up doing it the faster way the second time, just because even though she kind of felt the desire to like explore a little bit more, she's still at heart someone who wants to just beat the game as quickly as possible. So she was very happy to indulge in my newfound desire to speedrun the game as quickly as possible. And we ended up beating it in probably around like 4 or 5 hours, which, playing 2-player with only one person knowing the speedrunning strats, was pretty good. I think my best speedrunning time when I was like really doing it was around 2 hours, or 2 hours, 2 hours 15 minutes. I don't remember what was my best time. I remember getting around a 2:15, but I don't remember if that was the pinnacle or if there was a better time that I got. But yeah, it was definitely. I was definitely getting down there in times. I'm now playing again and trying to get back into it. I'm thinking about possibly adding those to my channel once I get a capture card. Start adding some videos of me speedrunning a game. I also want to do a bunch of videos where I basically show where each of the moons is and where all of the purple coins are, and just do some tutorial walkthrough videos for that game, because I really enjoy that game. But I need to get the capture card before I can get that done. But I've been playing through it recently and trying to get my speedrunning strats back up, and I've been trying to learn some of the skips that speedrunners do, because when I was doing it before, I was kind of just only using the mechanics of the game as intended for the most part. Obviously, I was skipping as much as possible that could be skipped, but I wasn't doing any of like the clips or anything like that. So I've been trying to learn some of those types of strats. Obviously, I'm not very good at it yet because I haven't been practicing that long, and I've really been trying to cut down my time more than learn those strats, because I'm really just trying to get as good as possible without doing the things that are kind of like, in my mind, serious speedrunner strats. Like being able to wall jump and do a bunch of like maneuvers with Mario and Cappy is one thing, and being able to like Cappy jump effectively and stuff like that is one thing, but clipping through walls and stuff like that seems like something that you have to be like a really experienced speedrunner to do. And I understand that you can very easily learn these strategies and become one of those, quote-unquote serious speedrunners, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm there yet, so I've kind of been focusing just on getting the optimal roadmap for getting each of the moons, and trying to cut down on the number of mistakes I make. I also haven't really been timing myself like diligently. I kind of just look at my watch when I start the run, and then look at my watch when I stop the run and do some quick math. But I haven't really been like starting a timer and then doing one long run through and then just hitting the timer as soon as I'm done. so I really haven't timed myself recently. But with that being said, I'm at the 30-minute mark, and we're probably going to be a little bit over 30 minutes, but that's okay. But we have done a decent amount of the SSN. We will finish it up tomorrow with the next episode, and I'm looking forward to getting cut and being able to take on the third gym. But until then, I hope you had a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.